So we're excited to have an 8th grade chapel, and middle school is joining us today to see Miles Mitchell deliver his chapel today. So Miles arrived in 3rd grade. I believe that was with Mrs. Baumeister, right? Miles was in your class. So some things about Miles. Miles is mannerly lower school, okay? He still holds the door open for his teachers and for others. Do we all do that? So we can work on that, right? And I'm sure we could say thank you, right, when someone's holding the door for us. He's respectful always. So he's quite the athlete. How many of you have ever seen Miles play? Be it basketball, lacrosse, cross country. Middle school, you haven't seen Miles play before? Yeah? So he's a 3-season athlete. At cross country this year, he was the most valuable player. So he's super fast, super speedy with his running. He played basketball this year and contributed very much to our undefeated boys basketball team. And he plays lacrosse in the spring. But off campus, some of you might not know that Miles is an incredible soccer player. So I asked for some facts about his achievements. So most recently, Miles's Continental U14 team won an ESPN qualifier tournament at the Bethesda Cup. The winners of that tournament will go on to play in Dallas, Texas in June. It has the potential to be televised, so we might see Miles on TV over here. He plays the holding midfielder position. Do you guys know what position that is? Who said yes? Oh, Nathan, tell me, what do you know about that position? So is this an important position? They have to go up, they have to go down, they're all over the place. So, and you're often holding off points from the other team. So I am told by a very reliable source that when Miles leaves the field, the other team scores. That's how good he is, okay? He is aggressive and super smart on the field, but also Miles is super smart in the classroom. And I know all of his teachers and I have been impressed over the years at his intelligence. He's hardworking, and he even loves to write. So let's welcome Miles Mitchell to the stage.
Hello, students, parents, and faculty. As Mrs. Morales just said, my name is Miles Mitchell, and today I'll be talking to you about the lessons adults can learn from kids. Hey kids, do you think you could teach your parents anything? I think that all of you can. Think about all of these famous children who made the world a better place. When Alex Scott was 1, she was diagnosed with cancer. At age 4, she wanted to create a lemonade stand to raise money for childhood cancer. She created Alex's Lemonade Stand that we all know today and raised millions of dollars. When Boyan Slat was 16, he created a system to reduce the amount of pollution in the oceans throughout the whole entire world. When Louis Braille was 15, he created a system of reading and writing for the visually impaired called Braille. Malala was a teenager when she became an activist for girls' and women's education in Pakistan. When Anne Frank was 15, she was in the process of writing a diary of her personal accounts throughout World War II. This diary is now a published book for anyone to read. We kids have the power to make the world a better place. These kids have changed the world for the better place, for the better. Each of us in this room has the power to do the same. We can help our adult companions by teaching them how to live a little bit more like us. The 5 lessons I'll be talking to you about today are often exhibited by children that many adults can learn from. The first lesson, to enjoy chaos and get dirty. I have a question for the students. Have you ever gotten yelled at by your parents because you made a huge mess? How many times did the mess start out calmly and quietly but exploded into crazy fun? Did any of your fun ever end up with your parents yelling? One time, my sister overflowed the bathtub because she was making waves for her mermaids in the ocean. My parents had no idea until the ceiling in our kitchen was leaking. Another time, she sprinkled fairy dust or glitter all over the house to ensure that the entire house felt magical. This was years ago, and our house still sparkles. One time, I brought a big bucket of mud and sand into the house to make obstacles for my Matchbox cars. I dumped it everywhere. When I was younger, I would collect leaves and sticks and hide them in my closet. Eventually, our dogs would find the sticks and eat them. The leaves had insects on them that would migrate all over the house. One time, I found a snake in my bedroom. We would often find big spiders and tree frogs, and even a brown bat. Another time, we found a great horned owl stuck in my soccer net. Oftentimes, our dogs would run away and arrive home wet and smelling like horses. These are just a few examples of what made our house crazy. My point is, a mess and chaos to parents is natural for kids. Learn to enjoy it and join in sometimes. The next lesson is that happiness is the journey, not the destination. One of my friends, Aman, and I, along with our families, were hiking on the island of Guadeloupe in the Southern Caribbean. When we began the hike, it was really hot and humid. 10 minutes into the hike, it started to downpour. Our destination was the top of a live volcano. Exciting, right? As we climbed, the temperature fell, and the rain started hurting as it hurt our bodies. We expected a little rain since it was the rainforest, but as we climbed, the rain was so heavy our clothes were hanging off of us. Our rain gear was soaked, and our shoes were heavy with water. We could not see the narrow trail more than 10 feet in front of us, and we started to complain. We started laughing, probably at my sister complaining, determined to beat our parents to the top. When we arrived at the top, we did not really know we were there because we were surrounded by lots of clouds. Two things told us something was different. The temperature had dropped about 30 degrees, and the wind was blowing us everywhere. We sat at the top for a while, but it was really cold, and since we couldn't see beyond the clouds, we started back downhill. Aman and I ran the entire way back down, racing our dads the entire way. What I remember most was that we beat everyone down to the bottom and jumped into the hot spring pools and relaxed and laughed about our adventure. Was the best part the top of the volcano? Was it running up the mountain? Was it going in and out of the clouds? Was it feeling like we'd be blown off the top of the volcano? I don't know, but when I think about it now, what stands out was running up and down the volcano, through the mud, and relaxing in the hot springs with one of my friends and family. So when your parents say they're taking you on a vacation somewhere, have fun getting there. Moms, dads, grandparents, and adults, have fun and enjoy the missteps along the way. The next lesson is to respectfully question authority. Last year, my family and the Zawadzkis family traveled to Washington, D.C. to support the students from Stoneman Douglas High School. They held a peaceful demonstration, parade, and rally that became known as the March for Our Lives. It was organized and held by teenage students who were upset with what our legislators were doing in the government. They felt they could rally together and make it a safer world for all of our children by promoting peaceful resistance and persuade the government officials to change laws that would make students safer. Over 200,000 people, including men, women, and children, attended the march, and it was a demonstration that was totally organized by kids. Parents and adults, we aren't always trying to get our own way. Sometimes we think about how we can make the world a better place. The next lesson is to find magic in everything. When I was little, I would put my face in the flowers and sniff loudly. I would talk to the bees. I thought every dog was my best friend. I would climb in and out of cardboard boxes for hours and play cars and trains for days. All of it was magical to me. When you think magic, you don't need to picture Harry Potter and Hogwarts. Magic is all around. Lightning bugs, shooting stars, meteor showers, baby animals, thunderstorms, and laughter. Every day, find something magical. Somehow it gets easier to focus on the big problems instead of the small gifts that are everywhere as we grow older. The next lesson is to embrace what makes you different. Be a rebel, or a superhero, or a monkey, or a rock star, but always be you. Up until a few years ago, I dressed in costumes, and not just on Halloween. In any costume, I felt like a superhero and was always on a mission. I would dress up as much as I could, and who I was depended on my mood. Some days I was a pirate or chicken. Others I was a king or Buzz Lightyear. As I got older, I became more self-conscious and stopped. My point is, no matter who you are, moms, dads, teachers, and adults, you need to be comfortable with who you are. It doesn't matter if you like wearing a mask every day or if you wear a cape. Be yourself because no one else is like you. If you like costumes, wear them. It seems that adults can forget that those little things that make us different also bring joy to others. As we get older, realize people are judging and looking and sometimes staring. As little kids, we are happy making believe and having fun with who we are. Children, until a certain age, don't worry about what people think. Don't hide who you are because you think the world might have an opinion. The next lesson is to let us lead. I spent several weeks in Costa Rica, and one of the things I have in common with everyone there is that we both love the game of soccer. A little background. We arrived the year of the 2014 World Cup. Costa Rica went farther than they ever had, and the day we arrived, they beat Italy 1-0 in one of the World Cup matches. I never saw an entire city or even country erupt in celebration, so it was a huge surprise to me that the streets were filled with people and car horns honking and flags waving. Soccer jerseys were being sold on every street corner. The team went further to tie with England, which was unheard of, and then beat Greece 5-3. They made it to the quarterfinals and played Netherlands and lost 4-3. The reason for this background is that this was the first time in history of the World Cup that Costa Rica, this little peaceful nation, had ever gone this far in the World Cup. Soccer, or football, is their national sport. Every village has a soccer field. Most days you'll see people of all ages sharing the space on the village soccer field. I, being the shy kid that I am, was hesitant to go out and play with non-English speaking strangers, but with the encouragement of my parents, I did it. I brought my new ball, wore new cleats, and a new soccer jersey. The kids on the field approached me and touched my soccer ball. They stared and smiled at me and quickly asked me to play and kept asking me to come back every day. On the Costa Rican fields, I played with people of all ages. After a few weeks of seeing me on the field playing, a former Brazilian national team player who coached games on the weekends asked me if I wanted to play a game with their team. I was thrilled. These kids were really good. They were better than any of the kids I play with at home. They had an old ball and their gear wasn't as nice as mine, but they were far better than anyone I've ever played with. When the other team showed up, they were bigger and had matching uniforms. The team I was guest playing on did not have any uniforms and reminded me of the team on the movie The Sandlot. I assumed we would be killed. I had no idea what the coach was saying while he was screaming at us when we were on the field, but in the end, my team won by a large margin. What I'd like parents and adults to learn from this is that nobody coached these kids every day. They went out and played every day on their own because they loved the game. They yelled at each other to move the ball and get better. These kids were on the field after school, before bed, after dinner, before school, and all day when school wasn't in session. Parents didn't drive them to the fields or hire professional coaches. Although the soccer field was where families hung out in the evenings, the players showed up to play without their parents telling them to go. They made their own rules, and the leaders rose to the top and fell down to be replaced by other leaders. All of our teams here are led by adults, and we're rarely given the ability to lead ourselves. We have the ability to lead ourselves. Give us the space. Give us the freedom. We will be more capable of leading in the future if we were able to use our voices today. Learn something new from another person, whether as an adult or a child today, tomorrow, and the next day. It doesn't matter how young or old a person is. You can always learn something from them. I hope you enjoyed my chapel today. Go get dirty, have fun, be yourself, lead others, find magic in your life, respectfully question everything, and always enjoy this adventure called life. I would now like to finish with a video.
We're on a mission to make the world more awesome for kids. We want to talk to kids and see how they want to make the world more awesome. So we went to the California Association of Student Youth. I can't even say it. Okay, I'm gonna say it slowly. The California Association of Student Leaders. Yeah, it's as awesome as it sounds. We talked to really smart kids and teens. Here's what they said.
I feel like kids have a lot to bring to the table when it comes to change.
The world would be more awesome if people try to understand each person's point of view.
If kids and adults could work together.
If there was less judgment and prejudice in this world, and that everyone accepted each other for who they really are and not for who they view them to be.
If I was elected president, I think I would try to just stop the negativity around the world.
If I was president, I would fix immigration because here in the U.S. we stand for freedom and liberty, so why not welcome everyone from around the world with open arms?
I would find a way to make people more accepting towards one another.
I would give kids more of a voice. I feel like kids need to be more empowered. They need to know that the world is going to be in their hands someday, and they definitely need to be taking an initiative.
I would fix the wage gap between men and women.
If I could give the world one message, it would just be, do you. You are perfectly fine however you are.
You should always be yourself because there's too many of everybody else.
Treat people nicely because you don't know what people are going through, you don't know what their story is, and everybody has different opinions, and if you just respect that person, then they'll respect you.
To be a leader, it means to make a difference in the lives of others and really empower them to see the best that they can be.
Someone who takes others' opinions and doesn't just go my way or the highway. They're open-minded and they're passionate about what they do.
A good leader is responsible, they're honest, they have a good attitude.
Main thing is just be positive to everyone. You don't want to ever bring anyone down.
You have to also be the one to listen.
To be open-minded and to be arms wide open for everyone.
I believe that everyone has the potential to be amazing, and I really want to maximize that and try to make everyone as great as they can be.
I don't have much.
I don't even know what to do, like.
Okay, let's get into it.
I should walk.
You guys are the best. What do you think will make the world more awesome for kids? Come on, it's time. I believe in you people. Let's do this.